What's going on, everyone? It's Badger here. Make sure to leave a like and a sub, and let's get into this. So, if you haven't been paying attention, there's a bit of a civil war going on in Disney, a bit of a fight for the heart and soul. And unfortunately, it's between activists because right now, that's those are the only people in the game. Thankfully, there are activists on our side, and that is well, at least they just want to make money. But thankfully, all the things that make money are what we want, and that's just a return to good writing and attention to story, character, source material, all those good old-fashioned notions that we know work when they do it. So, Ike Perlmutter, Nelson Peltz, Jay Rizzullo. Those are the three. Those are the three shareholders that are coming in as their little trinity they're asking for board seats. They got enough shares in the company. They got more than Bob Iger and his people, as we're going to come to find out. So they've been trying this for a while, and Disney, and when I say Disney, I mean Bob Iger, for the last couple of years has, for lack of a better term, been lying. Been lying. He's been blaming all the money loss on the COVIDs, and he's been blaming it on Summers of Love, and he's been blaming it on strikes, and he's been blaming it on the rioting. He's been blaming it on anyone but what it is. And then, of course, eventually he had to tacitly admit that, yeah, their agenda pushing loses money. They're pushing DEI and diverse, all that stuff. It loses money. So, to the other end of the balance, we have this article from Deadline updating on this board seat struggle. We also heard that Bob Iger had found more capital from these woke investment firms, the State Street, Vanguard. Here we go. The Trian Group's Nelson Peltz has formally asked Disney shareholders to elect himself, as well as former Disney executive Jay Rizzullo, to the company's board of directors at the annual meeting this spring. And Jay Rizzullo, of course, we learned was the former heir apparent to Bob Iger before suddenly being, put on some no-name assignment. Someone else was picked. He ended up leaving. He's gone on regular. He's been a fan of Disney his whole life. Talks about how much Disney has changed. The activist investor, who is allied with Ike Perlmutter, holds a war chest of about $3 billion worth of Disney stock. Trian, in its own proxy statement today that followed Disney's earlier this week, reiterated complaints about Bob Iger's leadership, and Disney significantly underperformed its peers and its potential. Oh, and it's not even close at this point. The fund also asked shareholders to withhold votes for three nominees put forward by another activist investor, Blackwell's Craig Hatkoff, Jessica Schell, and Leah Sullivan. It said they don't have the same level of relevant experience or qualifications as the Trian nominees. Right. So these are going to be the DEI ones that they're putting up, even though the Trian nominees own more stock. Thus, they should have more of a say. Disney believes all five nominees, Trians and Blackwells, are unqualified. The company said Tuesday that Peltz had not actually presented a single strategic idea for Disney. Except he's been saying the same thing all along. Anyway, it said Rizzullo had been out of the business for too long and would have an outdated perspective, which at this point, outdated is exactly what you need. And since he was passed over for CEO in 2015, he'd have a hard time working constructively for Iger. Right, which is why Bob Iger needs to resign immediately. He cannot run this company. He's run it into the ground. Trian said Blackwell's nominees appeared to be content with Disney's current turnaround efforts rather than seeking to hold the company accountable for improved performance. Right. In a CNBC appearance this morning, Pelt said that Disney's entire board, including Bob, own less than 15 million worth of stock. And again, they own 3 billion, this Trian Group. That's not a hell of a lot of commitment to this company, given the fees, etc., that they get from being a director or an officer for this company. And when you want to talk about Bob, Bob has taken $1 billion out of this company since he's been here. $1 billion. Last year, he got paid $31.5 million. And I will add that that is doubled from his $15 million the previous year before. Earnings were down. They missed everything. The stock was down. Right. And he took the money. Of course he did. That's the ironic thing, is you think he would just do what they're saying and return to good storytelling, which would make him even more money. But then he'd have to go against his DEI masters, his ESG World Economic Forum masters, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, go watch Malay. the Argentine president. Go watch him talk to the WEF. It is beautiful. He yells at them for 20 minutes. Anyway, let me know what you think of this. Do you have any hope whatsoever? I mean, look, if you're not paying attention to this, I know you might think it's just a boring investor fight. And in some sense, it is a boring investor fight, except for the fact that if these three investors win, we might get Disney and our franchises back. Let me know what you think of this. Like, share, and subscribe. If you've done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And we'll see you on the next one.